All right, we're going to just go through some terms of combat spread so that everyone has the kind of same idea about what we're doing. Right now, Splat and I are in battle. I'm a bit wide. The important thing is actually to try and keep the datum speed, which we're going to use 700, and we're in big ones because they tend to show up, they're quite big, to make it a little bit easier. So the first thing we're going to do is a 90 starboard turn. So Splat will go, we're going to go right onto a heading of 060. Splat's going to go high because the outside man goes high and the inside guy just waits for the correct time to turn. So 90 starboard, go. So because we're quite wide, that does vary how long you have to wait for. This is going to look about right though for normal stuff. So as I look back over my shoulder, when he gets to about the 430 position or the 830 position, sorry, the 730 position, I start my turn. And we're going to roll out on 060 and try and maintain our 700. So there's our 06 and there is Splat. Now I'm a little wide, so I'm going to close up a little bit on him, just because, as you can see, he's quite a long way away. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, this time we'll go starboard then, so this time I'll be going high. So a 90 starboard, go. So I pull up and start my turn, and I'm just pulling about 3 to 4G right on. Of 150. And there we see Splat went a little bit late. So because of that, he's going to be a bit behind the position, right? So we can help him out with that. I'm a little fast actually, which is really not going to help. So I can pull up, which will slow us down without changing our energy state too much. And then come back down again on my heading of 150. Sorry, Splat. There we go. All right, if we end up a bit out of position, like we are now, and we don't really care too much about our direction of travel, then we can actually do what we call an in-place turn, just to get back in position. So we're going to do an in-place 20 to the left. In-place 20 left, in-place 20 left, go. And as it says, there's no fancy turn, you just turn on the spot 20 degrees to the left. My heading's 130, and now when I look out the window, Splat's on my 39 line, which is where we want to be for battle. All right, so that's how we do the 90-degree turns. Next, we'll have a look at our assisted turns. These are 30, 40, 50, and 60 degrees. Whenever you do an assisted degree turn, so between 30 and 60, the first thing you do is turn towards the other guy. And then if the turn is going away from where he is, then you stop with your little bit of assistance and then turn back after you cross. And if the turn is going your way, you continue the turn through the heading for a certain amount of assistance and then turn back again. For argument's sake, we're just going to take 20 degrees roughly each time right now. just because it'll make it a little bit easier. So we are going to go, oh, let's see, we're going to go 40 port. So 40 port, 40 port, go. So the first thing that happens is we both turn towards each other. Now we're going 40, which is 090. I'm going to go through that heading by 20 degrees. We've crossed behind. I wait for Splat. We'll reverse his turn, and he turns on to 090 now, and I can ease my turn back to the 090 position. And there we are in battle, heading 090. All right. Now we're going to say we're running in on an intercept, and we lose all picture, and we want to turn around. One of the calls you could make would be a turnabout call. In this case, we both do 3 to 4G turn level, and go through 180 degrees. So in this case, it'll be back to west. So, turnabout starboard, go. So we both immediately start a level turn. Now, when I get to 180, I'm going to look at where Splat is in my window. In this particular case, I'm going to pull a bit too much. I'm going to stop, roll out, and see that Splat is nowhere near turned as hard as me. So I'm going to delay the turn. In fact, I'm going to turn a bit towards him while he keeps his turn going, so that I can get roughly him on 180 as he keeps the turn going on to west. So about there, I can see that my positioning is going to work out about right. So now I continue the turn. He's south of me. Keep the turn going. Now, once you go blind, you've just got to keep your turn all the way round onto west. And then, as you get to west, roll out, take a quick look, and lo and behold, there he is in battle on the other side. All right. Now, when you're flying battle, you'll be constantly adjusting a little bit speed. So one of you has to be the lead. In this case, it's Splat, and although I'm calling the turns, and I'm adjusting my speed constantly as the wingman to try and stay in a good 3-9 line abreast position. So that was our turnabout. If you're on the other side of that, so you can't see the guy, your job is just to continue that 3 to 4G constant turn all the way round. As you've gone past halfway and you get 60 degrees to go, you should be able to look out and see your wingman out to the other side. And then you try and blend your turn a little bit if he needs a bit of help. All right, so that was our turnabout. Now we're going to do a cross turn. Similar. This is normally used if you want to stay over the same piece of airspace, or if you're not sure that there isn't something nasty around you. When you do the turn, you clear the other person's 6, because you're going to turn straight towards each other, go by, and then you end up rolling out, going the other direction. Now, for this turn, we end up a little bit wide normally, but we'll demonstrate it now. So, turnabout, cross turn, go. So we both turn straight towards each other. I'm the wingman, so I go high. It's my job not to crash into Splat. And I try and blend my turns so that I go over the top of him heading south. So there we are, over the top, that's through south, and we just keep the turn going all the way around. As we start to roll out, I'm looking over my shoulder, and there he is. I can see him, and I went through my heading because we're very wide. That generally happens with these cross turns. Unfortunately, I think it's just because in real life it never seemed that bad, but it might just be because of the geometry of the aircraft. Anyway, so we can see Splat over there, and we see now that I've ended up in a bit of an uncomfortable position. Yeah, for heading east, he's well behind my 3-9 line now. So the easiest way to fix this actually is to do a thing called a shackle. This is where we swap sides. The reason you do a shackle sometimes is just to fix your formation, and sometimes it's to be on the correct side when you're doing a target run, and so a ground attack run, and you want to make sure that the lead hits the target first, and you've ended up on the wrong side normally because you've been bounced. So, shackle, shackle, go. Now in this particular case, I am going to turn a lot further than I would normally, just to make sure I cross with Splat. And Splat should turn a lot less. I've turned almost 90 degrees because there is Splat. And now I'm going to start my reverse because I know I need to turn further. And there we go. All right. So now we're back on east. And I've slowed down because Splat is still a little bit behind, but we have a much nicer spacing now. So we did a 40 degree, we've done a shackle, we've done a cross turn, and we've done a turnabout. So now we'll just do a couple more. Let's try a 30 degree turn. So a 30 degree turn, technically the amount of distance required to a turn is 90 minus the distance you're turning divided by 2. Sounds weird, but it's actually to make sure that you always cross at a 90. So in this case, we're going to do a 30 port onto 060. So I'm going to turn right onto 120, and Splat is going to turn all the way left onto 030. We'll cross and then we'll reverse back onto a heading of 06. So 30 port, go. So immediately I always do the standard thing. It's a small turn, so I'm going to turn towards him, looking for about 120. Now this time, don't climb because Splat's the outside guy, so don't give him a harder time than he needs to. There we cross as he's turning in, and now I reverse my turn for the rollout onto 060. And there's my 060-ish. And there's Splat out in balance. Now, you make a mistake like I just did, there's a couple of ways to fix it. If you are in a high threat environment, you can just hoik the nose up. Just let it slow down. Let him come back into bow. And then we just lower the nose back down again. And let the speed back increase again. And that got us back into bow. Especially if you're at medium level doing air-to-air work, that's the technique that we always use. Okay, so you've seen a 30, you've seen a 40, we might as well just do a 60, and this time I'm going to do the full turn. So we're going to go all the way around onto north. So my assistance is 90 minus 60 divided by 2, which is 15 degrees. So my heading is going to be 3, 4, 5 at the end of my turn before I reverse. And Splat is going to come 15 right onto 075 and then reverse back to turn 75 degrees. So 60 port, go. So I turn towards Splat. I keep the turn going to the 3, 4, 5. We cross at a 90. I'm a little behind him, but that's fine. I'll just start my reverse a little bit earlier, maybe, just to get us on to north. Okay, and as you can see, we're in it a little bit wide. So I've already corrected my heading. I know Splat's heading north, as he's the leader, so I'm heading 010. And this plane keeps giving me a hard time because I keep going too fast. All right. And 90 port, go. So this time, because I'm ahead of Splat, I wait till he gets a little bit deeper into my 6, and then I turn, and the heading rollout is west. And there I roll out on west. And arrow. Okay, I'm now the lead Splat. Arrow starboard, go. So arrow is our close-ish formation because we're going to go and recover back to the airfield. So Splat's going to come into arrow, and then we're going to break from arrow onto the runway at Kutaisi, I believe. So I'm keeping my speed back, letting Splat close. As soon as he closes up on my right-hand side, and I can kind of see him, I'm going to punch the speed up, and we're going to do run and brake with a 3 seconds between the 2 aircraft. Should work out about right. That's that. I descended a little bit. Getting ready for the run and brake.
Line sight.
Just come down. I'm low on your left. You're good. You're in the right position actually. Just come down. Look on your left. All right. You know what?
Yeah.
All right. I'm accelerating, Splat. Well, actually, Splat, stay out there. You know what? Change of intention. We'll just do it from battle. All right, Splat, so just stay in that position. Bust her up a little bit. I'm going to be doing 950.
Okay.
So this will be a battle break. So in a battle break, we come in battle like we are, and we turn simultaneously on it. We both brake at the same time. I brake fairly hard to a normal downwind position. Splat has to brake a lot slacker because he has a lot further to go round to get onto the runway. But right now we are initials for the brake. In fact, this turn is a little bit tricky for the wingman sometimes because he's got to kind of blend it in to get onto the downwind. But the important thing is just to follow your lead when you get into the downwind position.
Down port, yeah?
Yep. Yeah. And so, nitro on the brake to land. And it's just a standard brake for the leader. As I say, Splat has to kind of follow me around the turn and roll out into the downwind position. And so I pre-arm my thrust reverse, but that you can use idle, but don't go full thrust reverse until your wingman says that he's slowing down. And I'm final skid down now. It's like my altimeter is a bit off.
User joined your channel.
What's up, you no counts?
User joined your channel.
You can always trust Trig to make some noise. All right, so I've landed and now Splat just comes in behind me.